This video contains manga spoilers. So if you haven't read Jujutsu Kaisen manga till now, please do go and read it. Because from this point on, I don't want anyone to bitch about manga spoilers, why didn't you give me spoilers, etc. etc. You guys have been warned. Thank you. Hello there, I am Kar and welcome to KarWhatIfs. This is my first video in this channel, and this channel is mostly going to be comprised of what ifs about anime, movies, TV shows, etc. etc. and whichever pique my interest if I want to make a video and all. Today, I want to start my first what if with one of the most popular manga and anime of the new current generation named Jujutsu Kaisen or JJK for short. This topic of what I'm going to make what if about is known as what if Kenjaku never sealed Gojo. Now, I know this might be confusing as a title, but if you have watched JJK, you might understand what I try to say. So, anyways, let's take a look at this scenario together. And if you have any queries, any questions that you guys have to ask me, please comment down below. I can explain the best I can. So, without any further ado, let's get rolling. This entire what if goes based on the presumption that Kenjaku wants to end Gojo once and for all. In the canon storyline, Gojo Satoru was a big deal and a big enemy for Kenjaku, so he had no other choice but to use the prison realm to seal Gojo for the time being. But this time, him having the knowledge that two key persons are involved and are gonna be involved in the situation makes him change his entire plan, and a new plan is formed. He uses his disaster curses and splits them into two. Mahito in one group, Mahito and Mahito alone in one group, and he is sent to one person that he has to push to the limits. And number two is other two remaining people. That is Hanami and Jogo. Jogo decides to go on his own with Chozo following him, while Hanami is left with Kenjaku. And Kenjaku really doesn't have a problem with it because there might be a reason why he has made this plan. Now, let's start the story. Now that I've laid the background this time around, let's start the story. So, Kenjaku's plan for now is to fight or stall Gojo Satoru until his teammates can do their job properly. Now, there are teams, disaster curses split among everything. Dagon still has his own battles with the teams of sorcerers, that being Nanami, Megumi, Maki, and the Zenin clan head. And as well as the two teams that has been split, Mahito and Jogo and Chozo are going to the respective enemies or targets. But Mahito doesn't find his target immediately, so he has no other choice but to roam around, do whatever he wants until he can find his target. But Chozo and Jogo eventually find their target. But who is their target? I'll explain later. Now let's go to Kenjaku. Kenjaku finally brings Gojo Satoru to the place he wants, to the place that he can stall Gojo Satoru for the enough time so that his plan could come into fruition. I'll explain what Kenjaku's plan is. I mean, you guys will eventually get it as the story goes on. As the what goes on, you guys will eventually get what the entire plan is that Kenjaku has made. Now, Gojo learns about Geto and how Kenjaku has taken over Geto's body, and Gojo wants to kill Geto or Kenjaku, whatever you want to call him. This leads to Kenjaku fighting Gojo Satoru rather than sealing him, fighting him. Now, this does present some problems, very big problems actually. Number one is Kenjaku does not have offensive power enough to fight Gojo Satoru. He has offensive power, but he doesn't have that much offensive power. He has abilities like anti-gravity, which he got from, again, you still haven't gotten, spoiler alert, you're still here, please go read the goddamn manga. Because if you haven't read, I do not want to spoil you. So please, for the love of God, go read the manga. Anyways, the anti-gravity curse technique is given to him by Kaori Itadori, Yuji's mother. I'm not gonna go that route because manga readers know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, the other ability that Kenjaku has is Maximum Uzumaki, as well as his domain expansion and his sealing ability, which allows him to use Geto's ability, which allows him to switch bodies. The name of that ability is Cursed Spirit Manipulation. This is a technique that allows him to use cursed spirits that are bound to him to enhance his own power. Now, I'm not going to go deep into it because the anime will eventually cover that. So, anyways, Gojo and Geto fight. Again, Geto, Kenjaku are the same person. You can, if I call him Geto or if I call him Kenjaku random times, just think of them as the same person. Because my English is not that good, but I'm trying my best for me to make this what if happen. So, anyways, Gojo fights Kenjaku and Kenjaku is able to hold his own actually. Remember, he's smart. He's really, really smart. And the fact is, he has been living for more than 400 years. For more than 400 years. And he has been keeping an eye on all things Jujutsu related. Meaning, he's also kept eye on Gojo Satoru. And it's natural to assume that Kenjaku, would know about Gojo's abilities and how to effectively evade them if necessary. Anyways, let's go and go to the group of Choso and Jogo. Their target is Itadori Yuji, the host, the jailer of the King of Curses. Now, the King of Curses is the title given to the strongest sorcerer or the curse in Heian era or Heian era, whatever you want to call it. Anyways, I'm not going to go more detail into that because I do not want to waste your time. Anyways, so the team Chozo and Jogo eventually find Yuji Itadori and they decide to fight him. Chozo is the one to step up because he has beef, really brotherly blood relationship beef with Itadori Yuji. And Jogo really doesn't care about Yuji. He cares about Sakuna. So if Yuji gets injured, he really doesn't care because he still has an item with him that can heal him. During this fight between Chozo and Itadori Yuji, Chozo still goes through his revelations while the sisters that were with Geto come and Jogo, realizing that they have tried to betray Kenjaku, kills them, takes the item that they had, and keeps it with them until Chozo finishes. Now that Chozo has finished his fight and is having a mental breakdown, which Jogo doesn't give a damn about, he feeds Itadori Yuji the 11 fingers of Sakuna, which, as you all know, would lead into Sakuna being awakened. This causes, well, the fight between Sakuna and Jogo to happen. But this time, the fight is different. A different reason, actually. Jogo explains Kenjaku's plan to Sakuna because Sakuna is a vital part of the plan to eliminate Gojo Satoru. And Sakuna is really all for it, but he's the king of the curses. He is a one man army and he is all alone. He's not going to be following orders from some low life. He has his pride. And so if Jogo could land a hit on him, he would do whatever he wants. And Jogo, being Jogo, accepts the fight. But unfortunately, we know how that goes. Anyways, let's go to Mahito. Mahito has just encountered his target, Megumi Fushiguro, who has just fought with his own father. Reincarnated father, I'm not going to go into that bullshit. Reincarnated father, Toji Fushiguro. He has just fought with Toji Fushiguro, or fought would be a weird term, but whatever, you guys still understand what I'm trying to say. So, him finding four Megumi Fushiguro, the names are confusing, apologies. Megumi Fushiguro, after Dagon's and Toji's fight, Mahito just runs to Megumi and starts fighting him. And while Megumi is strong, he ain't Yuji. The only reason why any of Gojo's students have a chance against Mahito is because, well, Yuji is just built different. If you guys again know what I mean, you'll know what I mean. He's just built different. Anyways, let's stop fanboying about Yuji for a minute and continue Megumi's fight with Mahito. It's not really a fight, it's just a massacre. Whatever Megumi summons, Mahito just transfigures it, destroys it, nothing. His goal is to push Megumi to the limit so that he could release his ace in the hole. Okay, anyways. Which Megumi, even if Megumi trips, he's gonna do this. So he does it. He does it. With this treasure, I summon Mahoraga. Now, Sakuna has just killed Gojo. Jogo, again, confusing names, I apologize. Jogo has just died, and Sakuna has arrived to the place that Kenjaku has planned to meet. And Kenjaku, well, he also has a plan to meet Sakuna. So he brings his so-called adversary with him as a bait. He isn't using Gojo as a bait actually. He's just bringing him with him. Not dragging him, basically. Using himself as bait to bring Gojo, if you understand what I mean. This leads to Kenjaku luring Gojo towards the new battleground in which Mahoraga, Sakuna, and Kenjaku and Gojo are present. Now, Mahoraga, I'll call him Mahoraga because that's how I can pronounce his name, immediately tries to attack the first person that he sees, which is Mahito, after he smacked Megumi across the face and sent him flying. That's a different matter. He attacks Mahito, or he almost attacks Mahito, but Sakuna interferes. He knows the plan, he knows what needs to be done, and that is what he's gonna do. Kenjaku is leaving, and Gojo realizes that if he lets Kenjaku go, he's gonna fight him again, or he thinks he's gonna fight him again. But if he leaves these two monsters go, the destruction is gonna be so big that there's no other choice but for him to step in. So he decides to step in now rather than later. Kenjaku leaves and lets the three monsters fight against each other. Now, Mahoraga immediately tries to go after Kenjaku because he's the one leaving, but again, Sakuna intercepts. Now, Gojo takes his chance. He attacks Sakuna with Hollow Purple, but Sakuna is not slow. This is a 15-finger Sakuna, by the way. So he would be able to dodge just in time, but Mahoraga would use that time frame to land a attack, sending Sakuna flying through buildings. Gojo would take this chance to attack Mahoraga with the curse technique Red, sending Mahoraga flying. But This makes Moharaga's wheel turn for the first time, adapting to Gojo's red. Anyways, Sakuna jumps back to the fight, but and tries to use cleave on Gojo to try and dissect him. But again, because Gojo has the biggest plot armor in the series, that being Infinity, the attack is stopped and nullified. But before Gojo could retaliate, Moraga comes from out of nowhere, like spawns from out of nowhere, and slashes Gojo using the sword of extermination, which is the thing that he has in his hand, stuck in his hand. But again, due to Infinity, that is blocked, or at least Gojo is able to block it due to Infinity. But again, another wheel is spun. The wheel has spun again. Sakuna uses this chance to use Slash as both Gojo and Mohoraga. But again, Gojo with his plot armor ass stops the attack. Completely doesn't get affected by it. But Mohoraga, Mohoraga, whatever his name is, the goddamn Shikigami. Okay, I'm gonna call him Shikigami from now on. The Shikigami gets affected. He gets cuts across his body, but it heals itself. Another way, the wheel spins again. I'm really thinking about the wheel as more than one for some odd reason. I don't know why. Anyways, Gojo decides to finish Mohoraga first because he knows that Mohoraga, if given the chance, would be the biggest threat in the fight. He can, well, in his eyes, he can defeat Sukuna whenever. But Mohoraga, the Shikigami, okay, I'll just call him the Shikigami. The Shikigami would is the biggest threat. So he would unleash a hollow purple straight at Mohoraga, hitting him. And Sakuna, why am I butchering everybody's name? I don't know why I'm blabbering. I'm an idiot. Okay, anyways, Sakuna takes this opportunity to have his fist fight with Gojo. But again, plot armor saves Gojo's ass. Like, it is saving his ass every single freaking time. He's able to block Sakuna's attacks, but again, Sakuna isn't letting Gojo's attacks connect to him by using slashing attacks whenever Gojo tries to hit him, making Gojo unconsciously stop the attacks using his uh, Infinity. Yes, Infinity. Anyways, Mohoraga comes back to the fight after healing himself with another spin of the wheel and launches at Sakuna, try to cut him in half using the sword of extermination. But Sakuna stops fighting Gojo and dodges, trying to land another slash to Mohoraga, but this time he dodges it. Mohoraga dodges the slash, which makes Sakuna realize that what Kenjaku is saying has more than one benefits. He has a plan and he wants to make that plan into a fruition, into a fruit, that sweet fruit. If you get what I'm saying, it's a metaphor. Okay, anyways, the fight continues. Sakuna, Mohoraga and Gojo start brawling in the entire city. Innocent civilians are died. Everybody dies, like seriously. Slashes cut through building. Gojo's hollow purple destroys building, and Sakuna's again dismantling cleaves destroys building, and Mohoraga's sword of extermination cuts through buildings. Now, but during this three brawl, Sakuna and Mohoraga are taking the most damage because of Gojo's Infinity. He's not being able to take most of the damage because again, Infinity kind of stops all damage from coming and hitting him. But Mohoraga is adapting. You guys have to remember that. Mohoraga decides to he's adapting. Okay, you have to remember that. Anyways, Gojo decides to up the scales, up the stakes, and puts two of his fingers together. Suguna, seeing this, realizing what Gojo is going to do, and also puts two fingers in his hands using the hand seal. But unfortunately, Mahoraga isn't, well, conscious enough to know what these two are doing. So he's stuck in the middle. And as both of them start saying the same
Domain
thing,
expansion. Malevolent
domain
shrine.
expansion.
Void.
But again, third time, but both of the creatures, these monsters, the strongest man in the world and the king of the curses, use domain expansion. But Sakuna, knowing about Mohoraga's ability to adapt to any and all phenomenons, uses zero point 0.2 seconds late, making unlimited void hit Mohoraga first. Now, Malevolent Shrine also hits Mohoraga, and this causes a chain reaction, which I'm going to explain later on. Anyways, due to Mohoraga being in the middle of two domain expansion clashes, he's given the most damage due to Malevolent Shrine and Ultimate Void, but the wheel in his head spins more times, which allows Mohoraga to adapt to both the domains at the same time. Again, you might have been you guys are getting confused about this, but manga readers know what I'm talking about. But I'll still explain so that it would become much more easier. But not right now. I'll explain later. Anyways, now you know what, I'll just explain it right now. So Mohoraga's ability is basically, after an attack, his adaptation skill starts, and it starts to analyze the attack that has been done to him, and it only takes a couple of time to complete the analyzation. But during that analyzation, if another similar or any attack gets another attack hits him, the adaptation accelerates. The time of adaptation completely goes faster, which allows Mahoraga to adapt to more damages faster than what he would have normally. So once a technique is adapted to, the analysis that the Mahoraga is doing of a technique doesn't stop there. It analyzes the next technique that has hit it. And due to Mohoraga being hit with unlimited void first, the adaptation started immediately. And being hit with the malevolent shrine makes the adaptation faster and faster and faster. I think you guys have understood what I'm trying to say. If you guys haven't, that's your fault, not mine. Because again, my English is not really good, but I'm trying to explain. Anyways, while this is happening, Sakuna, due to his range of the malevolent shrine, is able to easily and efficiently break unlimited void or ultimate void, unlimited void, due to the weakness that unlimited void has of enclosed space. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, let me explain. Enclosed space is basically the domain expansion's range of the area which it affects. GOJO Satoru's domain expansion, unlimited void or immeasurable void, has a range of a little, a small range. If you guys remember Mahito's domain expansion, it's similar to that. Someone outside interference would be able to destroy it, and that outside interference is Malevolent Shrine, because Malevolent Shrine's range can easily go to at least 20 to 30 meters, if I'm right. I think it can go to 20 to 30 meters, meaning its range is higher than the Gojo's range, meaning the attack that Gojo gets from outside is more higher. If you guys want an example, I'll give you it. So think as unlimited void as a ball, and you put the ball inside a small cage. Now what is the one getting affected, the ball or the cage? Exactly nothing, because both of them are equal. If you throw a ball at a cage, it wouldn't really do anything, and if you throw a cage at a ball, it wouldn't really do anything. But due to the fact that the cage is bigger than the ball, if the cage had some sort of sentience and decide to attack the ball for some odd reason, it would be able to destroy the ball quite easily. And this is like the fifth time I'm saying that I'm blabbering a lot, but again, I'm sorry, but I'm trying to explain the entire fight that happened in Culling Games, Sakuna versus Gojo. What happened? The domain expansion clash fight. Many people didn't understand, including me when I first did it. So, for people who are watching and do not understand what was going on, this is my small explanation for it. I know, just like skip it. Anyways, due to the range of the malevolent shine, he's able to easily destroy unlimited void. Gojo is he staggers back from the recoil because again, malevolent shine is a sure hit kill, meaning he is damaged due to this, which allows Sakuna to hit him with a punch. But again, Infinity blocks it. Gojo immediately recovers and uses Black Flash immediately in this small enclosed range, causing Sakuna to almost lose consciousness and almost lose this fight. But Mohoraga, being the god of adaptation that he is, adaptation completed, swings his sword of execution towards Gojo. Gojo tries to dodge it, but unfortunately, he isn't fast enough due to the fact that he has just taken well, recoil from a failed domain expansion. Not only that, but due to the fact that the wheel has also adapted to red, blue, which Gojo had used during the brawl, and hollow purple, and also has infinity and now his domain expansion. All these factors combined allows Mohoraga to cut not only Gojo but his infinity as well. He cuts off his arm. Sakuna immediately recovers and to the surprise of Gojo and to the dumbfoundedness of Mohoraga, because again Mohoraga really doesn't know what the hell is going on until someone commands him. Sakuna uses Black Flash as well, staggering Gojo even more. Now I know what you guys are thinking. How is Sakuna able to use Black Flash? I mean, why would Sakuna not be able to use Black Flash? His curse energy manipulation or curse energy output, as well as his how do you say how he uses curse energy is way better than anyone in this series. It's like top 2%. And the only reason that Gojo is even close to him at this point, at least in terms of manipulating cursed energy, is because of his six size. But Sukuna, without having six size or anything like that, based solely on a skill, was able to maximize his cursed energy output. Now, Sakuna using Black Flash staggers Gojo for a minute, but Mohoraga, for some odd reason, again, no reason at all, attacks Sakuna and takes him away from Gojo for a moment, causing Gojo to use reverse curse energy to not only heal his hand but also heal the damage that he got from the failed domain clash. Anyways, again, that word's kind of dumbass. Anyways, okay, just talking about this is a lot tiring than I thought. But anyways, Mohoraga swings a sword of execution again, but Sakuna dodges. But the after effect of the swing, Sakuna sees this, but he realizes that his plan has worked. The effect that has needed that what he needed has worked, but it's not complete. So Sakuna right now, or at least Sakuna's entire plan was to use Mohoraga as a model for him to adapt. But Sakuna or Mohoraga, after his first adaptation, he's altering the essence of his own cursed energy. Mohoragas are actually altering the effects of its own cursed energy to be able to nullify infinity, which Sakuna cannot do. So he decides to now make more use of Mohoraga, because why wouldn't he? Gojo comes back into the fight, surprisingly saving Sakuna. I guess you could say. I don't know if Sakuna would be saved or not, but anyways, Gojo comes back to the fight and immediately knows that he has joined Moraga, because again, Moraga has just completely cut through infinity. He again uses domain expansion, but this time only on Moraga. He completely ignores Sukuna for a minute. His Moharagas again hit by unlimited void, but Sakuna uses his domain expansion on Mohoraga, and on Gojo's domain, destroying it. This just goes on. A fight of domain clashes start. Mohoraga starts adapting Gojo using unlimited void over and over and over again and using reverse curse energy to heal back all of his injuries. While Sukuna just stops him, completely breaks him through. But the wheel star is still spinning. I want you guys to remember the wheel is still spinning. Anyways, a couple of moments later, the fifth clash of the domain. During the fifth clash of the domain expansion clashes, Mohoraga completely avoids the effect of Gojo's infinity. Completely avoids the effect of Gojo's, not only Gojo's but also Sukuna's. Gojo's unlimited void and Sukuna's malevolent shrine and blitzes Gojo, severing his arm again. But Gojo, being the guy who learns from his mistakes, sacrifices the arm that has been cut and uses hollow purple in a close range in order to eliminate Mohoraga. But while Gojo is smart, he doesn't fully know what Moraga can truly do. At least not fully as much as Sakuna knows. I mean, seriously, Sakuna's entire thing during that fight in canon, he easily was able to figure out what Moraga was and what Moraga's weakness is. Which, even though Gojo might be able to find out, it still wouldn't matter because Sakuna is the one completely destroying whatever Gojo is trying to. While Sukuna is not able to touch Gojo, Gojo is not able to damage Sukuna. Now, I know many of you guys might be confused about why Sukuna and Gojo have this weird kind of differentiation. Because in the manga, Sukuna and Gojo had again similar fight like this, but Gojo was doing much, much better. And the answer is simple. Because number one, Sakuna doesn't have Megumi's body. Number two, Gojo isn't stuck in the time prison. Or what? It's called time prison, right? It is called time prison or something. Anyways, I'll call it time prison for now. But yeah, time prison. No, prism stone. Yeah, prism stone. Stone prism. Whatever. You get the meaning. So he's not stuck in the prism stone or time prison, meaning he isn't able to develop himself, able to analyze more of his stuff, able to realize that there are more dangers that not he cannot stop because Kenjaku literally outsmarted him and sealed him. So he actually developed in that space because in that space time does not work. But and that is why in canon, or at least in the future manga, Gojo was able to have a really good fight with Sukuna by having domain clashes. But now he is just not enough experience. He just not does not have enough experience. Anyways, Mohoraga goes to cut the head. But this time, Sakuna is the one who saves Gojo by cutting out Mohoraga's hand. Moraga tries to turn, but Sakuna already comes in between Mohoraga and Gojo. And this time he uses Black Flash again to create some distance between Gojo, Mohoraga, and Sakuna. He immediately jumps onto Sakuna. I mean, not Sakuna. Sakuna immediately jumps onto Mohoraga and uses his new dismantle to not only sever Mohoraga but also sever some of Gojo's limbs, making him fall to the ground. If you guys don't know what new dismantle is, I'm gonna explain. Wait. Mohoraga immediately runs up to Sakuna, but Sakuna again dodges, but this time uses a normal dismantle to distract him, and then Black flashes him not once, not twice, not thrice, but four times consecutively, sending Mohoraga flying and distancing himself with the Shikigami. Sukuna turns and easily dodges a hollow propel to the face and again immediately serves Gojo's regenerating limbs. Gojo is shocked that Sukuna is bypassing his infinity and attacking him. Because again, here's the thing, he didn't expect Sakuna to do this. Okay, this Sakuna just tried to Sakuna at this point in time couldn't do anything, but now he's doing it. Anyways, Sakuna tries to humor Gojo. It says to humor Gojo and tells him of the plan that Kenjaku made. About how Kenjaku wanted to use both Sakuna and Mohoraga to completely kill off Gojo. But Gojo had a plan of his own. His plan was to use Mohoraga as a model, a crutch, so to speak, so that he could upgrade his own curse technique. Gojo immediately tries to use reverse curse technique to heal himself, but again, Sukuna immediately reacts to this and severs his growing limbs. Sukuna feels that Itadori Yuji, the person who's unconscious right now, is coming back to consciousness. So he decides to leave him a small present, if you would. Sukuna looks at Gojo and grins. An impact happens. Mahoraga comes back to fight and he immediately rushes Sukuna. And Sukuna easily rushes back. Sakuna activates his domain expansion, but this time he does not use normal cleaves and slashes and dismantles, but he uses his new upgraded technique, the worldly dismantle, as well as not only his normal cleaves, but his flames too, to finally put Mohoraga down and win this three-way brawl. This damage done by Sukuna, Mohoraga, and Gojo is immeasurable. Not only is Shibuya destroyed, but the surrounding towns as well. Damage is big, okay? The damage is big, even bigger than Canon. Anyways, Sukuna starts walking to a specific area actually, and then he decides to give Yuji back his body. Yuji, coming back from his consciousness, remembers everything. His fight between Chozo, his fight with Jogo, his fight between Gojo, his fight with Mohoraga, Kenny's plan, etc. etc. And he immediately turns around and sees Gojo's cut up body, head in one place, legs in another place, torso in one place, etc. etc. Yuji is too shocked and horrified to even blame himself. And that's where we're going to leave for this episode. Yeah, I'm trying to imitate Gege Akutami by giving Yuji depression. Even more depression. You're welcome. Anyways, it's been more than 37 minutes, which is a long time for my first video. But I really hope that you guys liked this video. And if you guys really liked it, I would recommend you, and I would like to tell you guys that you could like the video. Just click the thing down below. You can subscribe if you want, and then just comment down below any questions that you guys have. Now, after this is thing that I do not know what to do actually, because I could just stop here and everything might line up back to normal, but I still have more going on. So if you guys want me to do another part, put down in the link, put down in the comments below, and I'll wait for a couple of days, like 2 to 3 days. If I didn't get the response I want, I'll still put part 2. You know what? I'll just put part 2. I don't know when it will come out. I don't know when the script will be ready, but I promise that part 2 will come out. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for visiting my channel, and have a happy life. Eat well, sleep well, drink well. That's the way of the